moving the conversation forward, talking about Bronny James. Bronny foregoes his collegiate eligibility to enter the NBA draft. Um, a lot of people speculate, should he do it? Should he not do it? Played, came off the bench playing for USC. Obviously, in the summertime, he had the heart complications. That got cleared. That also played into his decision to enter the draft, I believe, because he was fully cleared medically by the doctors to say, hey, playing basketball, is something you can do without risking, your life, so to speak. And so, yeah, man, with Bronny making this decision, Bronny's 6'1", doesn't have all the optimal measurements you would like to see in a basketball player compared to what people seek in today's game in terms of you being freakishly tall, having a freakish wingspan. Nonetheless, Bronny is truly athletic. People speak highly in terms of him having a promise to be able to be a solid 3-and-D guy. You know, showed today in the draft combine, went on a nice heater of a hot streak, showcasing his shooting ability from 3 in the draft combine. Yeah, man, but all those things, taken into consideration, and yes, the fact that his dad is LeBron James and LeBron is, getting nearing retirement. Do y'all believe? Start with you, Dacius. Do you believe that this is a good idea for Bronny James to enter the NBA draft and forego his collegiate eligibility?
Yes, I believe it's a great idea because essentially you're betting on, because see, with the heart complications, it makes this to where it's a great decision instead of a good decision for me, because with the heart complication, it's almost like a sign. You hate to say it this way, but it's almost like a sign from God to get your money, my nigga. You know what I mean? Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. When the doctor cleared you, yeah, and you still have these doubts going on in your mind, why even waste another ounce on college where you got one of the best players ever to learn from? You know what I mean? To pick his brain, to work out with and train with. So even if you are, a bona fide role player or a bona fide 6-man, I say at this point in time, the way it sits and how it's looking as far as you trying to play with your dad, it kind of all lines up to where, it's a no-brainer at a point. Because, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? That he get drafted and make some money. That's it. The worst that could happen is that he get drafted, make some money, they send him somewhere to be developed, he bounced around, get to the career as soon as possible, because you never know what can happen with your health. So for me, on that standpoint, not necessarily just the money, which when money is involved, it's kind of like, you know what I mean? But
it's a great incentive.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, who in their right mind is going to get mad at this kid who is thinking about his heart condition, who has the chance to play with his dad, and who has the chance to start his career, and he will be polarized. He's LeBron James' son, so we're going to polarize him no matter where he goes and what he does. It just is what it is. You have all of these things waiting on you. I mean, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'll be like, cool, yeah, you want to get an education and you want to, do more college development, that's fine. But if you also want to thrust yourself into the limelight, make the money, use the time that you have, because you don't really know how much time you have, and you're now a little bit more fearful and concerned about your health and your time being able to play basketball, why not get as much as you can get while you can get it? That's how I feel. What you think, Ed? What you think, bro? Oh, wait, Darnell's coming off mute.
Yeah, I got a hot take for you. I feel like this is great for all parties. Just to kind of sideline, that big conversation about the GOAT. What's the one thing the GOAT wasn't able to do? Now, at one point, you even heard that his one of his kids were pretty damn good. He couldn't get through the college process. And it shows struggles right now that that's how it's looking for Bronny James. Heart complications, not really getting that time starting for a D1 team, D1 college team. I feel like they didn't want to play that gamble. So I think the best thing for him to do was not to risk, you know, how would you say it, college exposure. Because college basketball and professional basketball are two different things. You can have your opinions about it, but being in the position that he's in, LeBron doesn't know anything about college basketball. He knows professional. So therefore, like I feel like he has an advantage with LeBron being his father, and him being able to give that perspective to his son of like, hey, this is how you play professional ball. College, we don't know nothing about college, bro. I skipped that. So, I can help you in this introduction of being a young guy in the NBA. This and that. So I feel like the best thing for him to do is to get past his college phase because I feel like that family doesn't know anything personally about the college life. They don't understand how to benefit from it. Like LeBron didn't, so I don't expect Bronny to. You just don't learn that out of nowhere how to flourish in college. That's something that I feel like is a whole path, and I feel like LeBron wasn't planning on making Bronny a college superstar. So yeah, in my head, I even think LeBron thinks college is a waste of time in an aspect of. I mean, he never said it, guys, but I feel like he thinks it's a waste of time as far as development of being a basketball player, especially with the fact of him doing it himself. I think in his head he thinks that, bro, you don't need that. Look at me. So yeah, I think it's a great idea with the fact of only the fact that LeBron is his father. If he was anybody else's child, dumb idea.
Your reflection is like in the ceiling a little bit. I mean, it has nothing to do with nothing, but I don't know.
Oh,
It's
my bad.
no, it's interesting. It's not bad. I was just saying. Um, no, so for me, I think Bronny coming out, the reason, well, first and foremost, if this is like you said, Darnell, if this is anybody else's kid, considering your stats and your health concern, your health history and your stats and your measurements, bad idea. Like, who do you think you are, right? However, the cachet of who your father is drastically matters and plays a significant part in this role. And because of who your father is, I would trust and I would like to believe not only LeBron, but who his management will be, and that being Rich Paul, that they have been able to accumulate all the resources throughout all the years of their experience of being in the NBA to weigh every option, to turn over every stone, to know that this is the best decision for you, my son, my nephew. I don't believe they're making this decision with well, let's just see. I don't believe they're making this decision with like 50-50 aspirations. I believe if they don't truly believe or foresee Bronny landing on a team in this upcoming draft, they're not telling him to come out of the draft. That's just not happening. Um, and so because of all of that, factored into this equation, I think, in certain situations, there are outliers, right? In certain situations, there are some people who are the exception to the rule. And this situation, under these circumstances, who your father is, who your representation is, and Rich Paul makes you an exception to the rule to be like, we'll take care of it. Just come out. Like we'll see you on your way to where you need to go and make sure that you're put in a position to be productive. And so yeah, I know LeBron when he came out, when he was coming up, he was big on setting himself apart, and being his own man. I would believe or assume that he's also trying to train his son Bronny to do the same and be his own man. With Bronny saying, he kind of leaned towards the name of Bronny as opposed to LeBron James Jr. to kind of just identify himself as an individual apart from like just being LeBron James' son. So yeah, I don't think they make this move without Bronny doesn't make this move if he isn't expected to land on the team. If Bronny didn't land on the team in this upcoming draft, I would be completely shocked because I don't think they made this move knowing all that they should know, and again being able to have all the resources that they have to them for him to like for us to look up and be like, yeah, Bronny didn't get drafted. However, if he did not go drafted, there's a great saying that Rich Paul has where he coined it where it's called fit over pick. Basically just saying value where you could actually be productive at versus where you actually picked at in a draft. So it makes no sense for you to be a 17th, 18th, 19th, or even a lottery pick if you're not going to a team that could actually like use you or where you could actually properly develop. So even if Bronny were to go undrafted in this situation, again, Rich Paul, his connections, LeBron, his connections could be put in a position to where like, okay, he went undrafted. Now we could actually put him in a position to send him where we may want him to go. Hey, LeBron could be opting out of his contract, and we could really see the politics at work here with LeBron using his power to be like, hey, my son went undrafted. You want me, you draft my son. This is no different than what Giannis is doing. You want me, you sign my brother. Simple and plain. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to keep me happy, you keep a roster spot for my brother. If Giannis can do it, why can't LeBron do
Hey,
it?
get better Thanos. Thanasis, Achilles injury, hardworking man.
Right. And so yeah, man, if Giannis can do it for his brother, I see absolutely no problem with LeBron doing it for his son.